everyone, welcome back to my channel. Right, today's lesson we are going to learn how to create a basic two-page website using HTML. Right, so in this lesson we are going to be designing a web page. Right, so by the end of this video you should be able to create two HTML pages. You should be able to link the pages together, insert headings, paragraphs, images, lists, hyperlinks, build a simple website. For today we're going to be building it for a car dealership, and let's call it Teacher Shaw's Car Mart. So let's get started. So the first thing that we are going to do is to organize ourselves. So we are going to, on the desktop, create a folder, right? And we're going to call this Car Mart web page, website. So everything regarding the Car Mart website will, of course, be in that, all right? So what I am also going to do is I'm going to open it and I'm going to create a folder and I'm going to call it images. And all the images that I intend to use on my website will be placed in this folder, so I have access. Alright, so as you can see, if I open my images folder, I would have just gone ahead and added some images that I'm going to be using on my web page so that I know that they're all accessible there. Now, the application that I'm going to be using to create my website will be Adobe Dreamweaver. Alright, so once this comes up, I'm going to select File, and I'm going to select new file. I'm going to select an HTML file, right? And of course, it is going to ask me for the title, and I'm going to call this index as our first page is normally called index. I am going to go ahead and save, right? And here I'm going to go ahead and look for where the folder that I created is, and of course the file name will be index. This is my home page, and I'm going to go ahead and save. Now, as you see, there are some things that come up on the page there. It's everything that you are seeing on the page coming up there. Let me just go ahead and explain what they are. So the first thing you will see is the doc type, right? What this does is that it tells the browser that the document is written in HTML5, which is the current version of HTML, right? The browser will read this first, so it knows basically how to interpret our web page correctly. Now, the next thing you'll notice is the HTML tags. So we have the opening HTML and the closing HTML tags, right? And this marks the beginning and the end of the web page, right? Everything inside the tag belongs to the HTML document. So this includes the title, the body, the head tags, all of it inside the HTML tag. Then we have the opening and closing head tags, right? Now, this head section contains information about the web page, right? This information is, however, not displayed on the web page as, in and of itself. Think of it like settings for the web page, right? So it will include things like the title, as you're seeing here. All right, I'm going to be changing that shortly from index. The character encoding, so the meta tag that you see there, right? If you had CSS files, it would be here. If you had JavaScript files, it would be there as well, right? Next, in line 4, let's explain the meta charset UTF-8 tag. well, the meta tag, right? This provides additional information about the web page. So the char set UTF-8 set that you're seeing there, it allows the web page to be able to display letters, numbers, symbols, and special characters, emojis properly, right? Without it, it's possible that some characters may appear a bit strange or as strange symbols, basically. Think of it like a little dictionary, right? That help the browser to basically understand every letter, every symbol, every number that you enter or that you type. Right? The title tag, the title tag appears on the browser tab, right? In the bookmark or in the search engine results, right? It does not appear inside of the web page itself, right? So if, let's say, I change it to teacher Shaw Carmart, so you can, once I open the browser, right, you will see where it is displayed. So if I save this and I go to and I open it in my browser, if you look to the top here, you'll see it being displayed as Teacher Shaw's Carmart, right? So that is where the title tag will basically be displayed. All right. Now, the body tag, right? So the body tag, this is the most important part of the web page. So everything that the visitor sees inside, it goes inside the body tag, right? So if you realize when I open here, my entire web page is basically blank, if you look, right? So everything is blank. So everything that goes into the body tag will actually be displayed in that blank white section there. That's my slate that I'm going to be working with. So all the headings, all the pictures, paragraphs, videos, tables, lists, all of that goes into the body tag. All right, so let's start with some of the basics, right, as to creating our web page. Right, so let's start with the home page. We would have already created our title that you are seeing there. All right. So the first thing we're going to start with is doing a heading, and as I said, everything we want to be displayed on the web page goes between the body tags. So we're going to be working with that. We're going to create a heading, right? And as you see, once I close my opening tag, automatically I get my closing tag. But there are also multiple headings, right? So there's H1 all the way up to H7. Of course, each of them having their own purpose, right? So if I should do, let's say, a H2, then of course the text may look a bit smaller than H1. So I'm going to call this teacher Shaw's Carmart. So just to display the difference between a heading 1 and a heading 2, right? So I'm going to add a little welcome message to my web page. So I'm going to use a paragraph tag, right? And I'm going to say welcome to teacher Shaw's All right, so let me go ahead and save this, right? And I'm going to reload my web page. See what's going on there. Click saved. All right, and there we go. So you have the teacher Shaw's Carmart, the heading 1, heading 2, the best price yet, and my little welcome message right there. So that's all we're going to be doing for this video. Join the next video. We'll go ahead and add more to to this particular web page, and we will be developing going forward. All right. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.